made it to 500. Now they'll try to move past that mark today. It's the Seahawks going up against the Packers. With that, let's hand things over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 14 matchup.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. They come out here in the eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back.
That's because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
Shift together here from the D-line. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebackers. They can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Jake Shum to punt it away.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And he'll take it on this side of midfield. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's Thomas Rawls with his first carry. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
This is Rawls. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college, he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
And he finds Jimmy Graham. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And good to see Jimmy back out there moving okay after the ruptured patella in Week 12 last year. You've dealt with that injury, haven't you?
I have, and let me tell you, you know that expression, I feel your pain? I felt Jimmy's when it happened. Now, mine didn't happen quite the same way his did. His happened.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jimmy Graham, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. And it's up and good. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding where to...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's Rodgers. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The 2-time Pro Bowler, Bobby Wagner. get him, and this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Jacob Shum now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Taking on the midfield logo. 31 yards on the punt there. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they were a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Thomas Rawls with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So the flag is for roughing the kicker, a big 15-yard penalty.
And I'm not sure that was the time to go all out after the kicker. Plenty of time left in this game.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Rodgers now on first down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And this one complete to Martellus Bennett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
319! 319!
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Here's Jacob Shum now as he's on to punt for Green Bay.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. They set up the screen to Rawls. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Third and long, it's Wilson. Caught left side, Williams. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up fourth.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be fourth and short.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. 319.
Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers. And complete on the right side to Bennett. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. And he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Fielded just inside the 20. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. They're going to give it to him running right. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. On the tackle there, the rookie Kenny Clark.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Throwing is Wilson, and he checks this one down to Williams. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They go play action here on first down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Their big-bodied receiver, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Now the Packers get set to go. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. They come out here in the eye. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. It's complete to the tight end Bennett. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? Three-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
319.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And that is incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Here's Jacob Shum now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And taken at the 46. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And they went big on first down. Proves unfruitful.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. Are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Here's Rawls. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is Can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
Well, it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside. And
no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The six-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews, in there for an important sack as that moves him past his father, also named Clay Matthews, who racked up 69.5 from 1978 to 1996. On second down, Wilson. Under pressure, they got him again. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get, because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground? Well, I think everything was impressive about that one, except they didn't get a first down. But I like their field position now after that play.
Yeah, now you got a pretty makeable field goal opportunity. Now Dan Carpenter to try a field goal here. From the left hash, this from 34. And Carpenter knocks it through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point. So no problems converting there.
Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Yeah, that right there will set them back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now Wilson. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag. From the shotgun, Wilson. Dancing to his left. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
But one thing that's confirmed is that Russell Wilson knows how to elude pressure, and he finds openings to throw the ball, and he does the same thing in running it. He lost about 300 yards from last season in his rushing.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
319! 319!
A final shot before half for Rodgers. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. So the D-line's going to spread out. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to wind up and air it out. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Time running out here on the play clock. On second down, here's Wilson. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play.
You got to feel a little bit for the defense there. They've done a terrific job all day long holding this guy in check. But that might have been the run to break things out for him, maybe turn things around. Now he's going to have some confidence, and maybe he'll get to his normal yardage.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They run with a power back. Rawls. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Here's the backup running back, Carlos Williams. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. In motion is the tight end, Graham. 3rd and long, it's Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some.
And Rodgers intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
They come out here in the eye. Here's Wilson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Play action. Now Wilson. That is caught at the 7. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Their dangerous wide receiver. His second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And some good coverage there by the kick team as they'll bring him down at the 16-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Back to the air on second down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Then confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. They'll try to get the running game going with Rawls. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Thomas Rawls with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
7 yards to go on 2nd down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Here's blitz coming, and down he goes. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
3rd down, still 14 yards left. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Kaepernick. Flushed out right. Kaepernick hit. Fumble. He lost the football. He won't get in, but they are going to have the football in a great spot. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
So put 3 on the board, but from inside the 5. And I know we use this phrase a lot, but that's a big-time win for the defense.
It sure is. You've got the short field behind you, so you can afford to turn up the pressure. And that was a nice sequence there to keep them out of the end zone.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it now because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it. Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. Caught on the right side by Adams. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Here's Rodgers to throw. He's got time in the pocket. He may try and run for this. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Give him 18 yards on that one. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Fresh set of downs here.
Watch left, watch left. Tight end to the left, tight end left.
Rodgers now on 1st down. And now here is another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. The busy afternoon continues for Rawls. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, here's Williams. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now if you want to take a shot on 2nd down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
Oh, he bowls over it, and he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Now they'll run it on the toss. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
319!
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Complete left side, the tight end Rodgers. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And my goodness, another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. Play clock winding down. On second down, Rawls. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. Play action. Now Wilson. And able to find Graham. Complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come up in an offset eye. First down, this is Rawls. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Back to the ground on first. Again, it's Rawls. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Well, he was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.